Hi guys, this is Demon Rants, and today, I know I got the System of a Down shirt on. I didn't really put a special shirt on today, I just felt like putting this on. It's not really relevant to the video, but yeah, anyways. So yeah, today we're doing another review, obviously, another DVD review. The last one I did was the Matrix trilogy. And yeah, so I felt like doing another one, a very special film to me. I will mention a few things before I do the video, like I always do. This is going to be like an improv type of video. It's not scripted at all, but I don't think it matters really, because it's not going to be a controversial rant video, so I'm not going to have commenters, calling me out on like mistakes and stuff, if anybody ever does that, It's just a review, it's not anything controversial. And to be honest, I'm not in the best mood today. Something pretty bad happened, relationship stuff. So yeah, the next video after this is actually going to be a singing video. I know it might be a bit angsty and stuff like that, but honestly I feel like doing another singing video because it fits the current mood. But before that, we're going to do a much more cheerful style of video, and it is the DVD review, or just the film review, of the Simpsons movie. So yeah, why am I doing this film? Because it came out in 2007, and well, yeah, the film is now 10 years old. So yeah, I think the film actually came out in theatres, cinemas, in July of 2007, but I think in August 2007 it was still in the cinemas. It was a big summer movie of that year. So yeah, it's 10 years old this film is. So this is probably the right time to be talking about this feature. So yeah, before we get to the review, I'll just mention, let's look at the DVD. The DVD cover is obviously our main man, Homer Simpson, eating the donut from the logo. That was actually a big part of the marketing of this film, the big pink frosty, sprinkled donut. And it has Homer on the front of it, which the DVD cover I honestly don't like, because it comes from like a weird trend of DVD covers. Actually, Animat mentioned this, Electric Dragon 505, whatever his name is. But yeah, Animat mentioned this, and it was like a weird trend of DVD covers where they would literally just have the main character from the film's face on the front with just the logo at the top and like a blank background, like, just one colour. But on this one it's white. I mean, it's very simplistic, and it honestly doesn't really show what's in the film. It's literally just Homer eating the donut. So yeah, it's not very creative. I don't really like the DVD cover, honestly, that much. I mean, there's all these scenes in the films, they could have made the cover, the poster art really exciting looking, but they just didn't. So, I mean, yeah, but honestly, I'm ranting about the bloody cover of the box here. I should be talking about the film. So yeah, that's the back of it. I got the DVD because it came with many special features. It came with DVD commentaries, and I like to watch them. They're very interesting. And it came with deleted scenes, obviously deleted scenes. Inside of it, the disc is the, frosty pink sprinkled donut, and it has a manual in it, which you don't often see a lot in DVDs. And also in the manual, it's got some codes for old Simpsons wallpapers for your old flip phones back in 2007. So yeah, my dad still has one of them, so maybe he can use it. But anyway, let's talk about the film. So yeah, I've already talked about the intro. Film came out in 2007, so it's now 10 years old. So yeah, I watched this film when I was 6 years old. So yeah, this was a big childhood film for me. I'm not sure why it was though, because I mean, The Simpsons isn't adult, but it isn't really a kid's thing, but my parents let me watch it, and I loved this movie as a kid. This would be up there, with my favourite childhood films. So yeah, but anyway, cut the crap, let's actually talk about it. So I'm actually going to rank the film on different elements. Animat does similar things. I'm going to be ranking the storyline, the characters, the animation, and then I might talk about the jokes and stuff like that, and why, how the film is working for the show. The legacy of the show. So yeah, let's talk about the story. So the story is that, the Simpsons are just, chilling in Springfield, and they go to church one day. Sorry, I opened the box up. They go to church one day, and, Abraham Simpson, Grandpa Simpson, has a big, massive, religious outburst in the middle of church, beware, beware, 1,000 eyes, Eeper, Eeper. So, the family are wondering what the hell he's on about. Meanwhile, while this... Sorry, a message just popped up then. I'll close that down. But yeah, anyways, hold on. I hope the camera didn't move too much, guys, but anyway. So as I was saying, so meanwhile, while this is going on, Grandpa Simpson's had his big outrage and Marge is trying to figure out what he's talking about. The town is also having its own issues in terms of Springfield Lake, which is the most polluted lake in the entire country. So literally everybody is dumping their crap in there. So yeah, obviously Lisa, being the activist of the show, wants to do something about it. Yeah. So she wants to do, you know, something about it, and all this other stuff happens. And Homer, you know, after a string of events, you know, he dares, him and his son Bart end up doing a couple dares, which basically end up to Bart having to skate through the town naked and, well, get in trouble with the police. And yeah, and obviously Homer, when the police show up, he blames it all on him because he doesn't want to go to the PTA meeting. Is it the PTA meeting? Whatever, the, you know, parental, you know, control meeting. So yeah, and obviously Bart hates him and stuff like that. But meanwhile, while this goes on, Homer meets Spider-Pig. So yeah, Spider-Pig does whatever a Spider-Pig does. Obviously that was a big meme. Back before memes were even called memes, you know, this was OG crap right here. So yeah, he meets Spider-Pig and everything, and obviously, you know, Homer ends up having a big silo, well, filled with the pig's crap, obviously, because he has to dispose its waste, and he also puts some of his own in there. So yeah, so what does Homer do? He has to dispose of the silo, and what does he do? He ends up putting it in the lake, which pretty much, well, pollutes it to the point of, well, nausea. I don't know, but yeah, and pretty much that triggers the environmental triggers. But yeah, that pretty much makes the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, come in, and they pretty much have to seal off the entire town of Springfield under a giant dome. So yeah, they're stuck inside of a dome and everything, and you know, the town eventually ends up finding out that it's all Homer's fault, and let's just say there's some hell to pay. So yeah, I summed up most of the plot pretty quickly. There's some other scenes, and obviously the family get out of the dome. I probably should have said spoilers in this review, but as long as I don't mention the ending, I think it's fine. So yeah, obviously the family, you know, end up getting out of the dome. I won't say how, and they end up going to different places, Alaska, and yeah, there's all sorts of different stuff. So yeah, the story overall. Oh yeah, there's also a villain, you know, who's hold on a second. Yeah, I was closing my little messenger thing there. Yeah, so obviously the villain of the... oh wait, I shouldn't mention him yet. That's part of the characters, isn't it? So, yeah. Overall, the story, while it isn't amazing, you know, Grandpa has his big outrage in the middle of church and everything. A lot of people were expecting the storyline to be a lot more epic and, you know, biblical proportions, you know, gods and all this kind of stuff attacking Springfield. At the end of the day, they only just have a giant dome over them. So yeah, a lot of people found the story kind of disappointing, but overall I thought it was pretty good. I think it was a lot, you know, the plot was a lot bigger. Also, I have to mention I like how the DVD is yellow, the plastic. But anyways, going back to the story, I also like how the story is it's definitely a lot more huge compared to the regular episodes of the show. You know, the town of Springfield is actually at stake here. So yeah, you know, the writers and everything did a very good job at that. It really does feel like a Simpsons movie. I think I pretty much mentioned the plot and the story and everything. So yeah, the story's pretty decent. I don't know if I should rank these different things, but you get me. I'll just tell you my opinions. Yeah, just checking the time. Alright, so let's talk about the characters. So the characters, unless you're like living in some kind of country like Chad, somewhere like that, you all know the Simpsons. We all know the characters. Homer's the bumbling, fat, idiot father, but he's lovable, and we all love him for that. Marge is the, you know, the housewife that just wants everything to go down well. Lisa's the activist. Bart's the, you know, bad boy and everything like that. You know, he doesn't care too much for the rules. And Maggie's the baby who works in mysterious ways. She's kind of the unsung hero in a way. You know, she does a big part in this film, which you know, kind of sorts things out. But I'm not going to reveal that because it's spoilers. But this film is 10 years old, so I'm not sure how you never heard of it or watched it at this point. But yeah, so the characters, definitely, you know, because this is a big full-length feature film, the characters do have some arcs. Obviously, Homer has to learn to stop being selfish, you know. He has to learn to start caring about others, because there's a whole entire scene in this movie where he has an epiphany. And, yeah, he pretty much gets smacked around by a bunch of trees. This medicine lady tells him, you know, he ends up having an epiphany and has to learn to start caring about others than himself. So he grows in a way. You know, Bart has to learn that, you know, even though he might get angry at his dad sometimes for kind of being a bit, well, like Homer, you know, not really caring for him all the time, he has to learn that he is his dad and he needs to appreciate him somehow. Obviously, because he ends up hanging out with Ned Flanders instead, and Ned kind of becomes a, you know, the hardly-dooley. He ends up becoming a father figure to Bart, so yeah, that's kind of interesting. Lisa's obviously the typical activist. She just wants the town to clean up their actions and everything, and I have to mention that she meets there's a couple new characters. She meets Colin, who's an Irish boy, and they kind of have a little bit of a relationship. It's kind of cute, but I've never watched any of the new episodes, so I don't know if Colin ever comes back. But yeah, Marge is the typical housewife. She doesn't really do a lot in this film, other than, you know, well, actually, yeah, she does. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Obviously, Marge, you know, has to, you know, get through Homer's head that other people matter and everything like that. And there's a scene in this movie that's really beautiful. You know, Marge ends up leaving with the family, and obviously Homer wants to stay. He doesn't want to go back to Springfield. God, I keep messing with this bloody box. I know it must be loud in the video, but yeah, you know, Homer obviously doesn't go with them, so Marge sends him, you know, leaves him with their wedding tape, you know, with the Carpenters song in the background. Why do birds suddenly appear? And that's the moment when Homer gets it, and that's a really emotional scene. Marge does a really beautiful speech. So yeah, and Maggie, I mentioned, she's the unsung hero of the story. She, you know, is the one who, even though she's just a baby, never talks, she always manages to help people, you know, help the family out in a few scenes. So yeah, and we've got all the other, you know, all the iconic characters are there, you know, all the background characters. I don't really need to mention them all, do I? I mean, every single character shows up, except from Sideshow Bob, which, I mean, that would have been amazing if Sideshow Bob was in this movie, but they replaced him with the new villain, and his name is Russ Cargill, and he's part of the Environmental Protection Agency. I don't know who he's voiced by, but yeah, he's a typical, you know, pompous kind of bad guy and everything, you know, soft, tough. That's a good scene in the film. I'll talk about the jokes after, but yeah, he's a decent villain. He's a decent enough villain. So the characters definitely have their own kind of character arcs, you know, throughout the film, so it makes it feel a bit stronger than the average, I'll say the average modern Simpsons episode. Because this came out when the show was like, I think it was season 16, somewhere around there, which to the point was where people would stopped watching The Simpsons, especially me. But yeah, the characters are all really good, you know, they're the typical character types and everything, but they do have arcs and they do grow in a way, so it makes it feel, you know, like a movie. It makes it feel like a much bigger Simpsons episode. So yeah. Next we're going to move on to the animation. The animation, it's not going to bloody blow you away or anything like that, but it is slightly better looking than the normal episodes of the TV show. Only slightly. I mean, this ain't going to be like anime animation, you know, Studio Ghibli stuff. All the characters pretty much look how they normally look, but it is slightly better. The character movements are a bit more, you know, it's got a bit more fluidity at it, if you get me. And there's some cell animation, there's some 3D animation in this film. There's a scene where the Simpsons house gets destroyed through a sinkhole, and that used a lot of technical cell animation, 3D. To be honest, I don't know all about the computer stuff here to do with it, but it does look pretty nice. And, you know, previously there was a lot of films coming out, cartoon programs becoming films. The Rugrats had tons of freaking movies. Trying to think of a few. SpongeBob the movie came out in 2004. That film. Recess School's Out, which, if you're wondering, Recess School's Out was probably my favourite of the TV shows turned into films, other than the Simpsons movie. and Hey Arnold, the movie, which was unfortunately a box office bomb. But yeah, we are getting the Jungle movie this year, guys, so I am definitely going to watch that. Maybe review it next year. I don't know if anyone wants to see that. Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie. But yeah, overall animation, it's slightly stronger than the show. It's not going to blow you away, but it just feel that's this thing. It's just, bigger than the average Simpsons episode. So yeah, animation, pretty top notch, but it's not going to blow you away. It's not really supposed to. And finally, I'll just mention a few of the jokes and the legacy of the show. So yeah, the jokes, well, this film, isn't... I mean, it is funny. There's some really funny freaking moments in this film. There's so many quotes in this film. I'm trying to think of a few. Is anybody actually listening to me? Hell yeah, we need a new one of those things. When Lisa's inside of the town hall and, trying to talk to all the people of Springfield, but they don't care. And there's a couple other bits as well. Gay, 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 gay. When Ned Flanders has something to say in the middle of church. Well, that was, and I will have to mention, there's a lot of, there's kind of adult jokes like that, which when I watched this when I was about 7 years old, I had no idea about these jokes until now. So yeah, it was pretty bloody funny to hear these adult jokes now. So yeah, the jokes and everything are pretty decent. A lot of them are just kind of the average Simpsons type stuff. The finale's pretty action-packed, there's a few jokes and everything. It's not like a full-on, action-type film, but it is, there's a bit where... Oh God, I can't really mention anything because I've just mentioned spoilers. But yeah, the third act of the film has a lot of fun to it and everything like that, the jokes and stuff. It's average-type jokes, really. But yeah, the reason why this is one of my favourite films to come back to is the jokes always make me laugh. But to be honest, I forgot a lot of the quotes. So I'm going to have to think of a few if they ever come to my mind. But yeah. But the only jokes that there are some jokes in this film that don't exactly hold up. Like, for example, there's a bit where Homer goes to an arcade and he's playing Grand Theft Walrus, which obviously Grand Theft Auto, was big in 2007 and it's still big now. It's still a massive franchise. But straight after that, Grand Theft Walrus, the walrus drives in the car and sees a penguin and the penguin does a little dance. And obviously that's a reference to Happy Feet, which came out a year before this film. 2006, which Happy Feet. Did I say that? Yeah, Happy Feet, there's a dancing penguin and obviously the walrus shoots it with a shotgun. Kind of takes the piss out of them movies. To be honest, nobody cares about Happy Feet anymore, so that hasn't really held up. But a lot of the jokes are pretty good, to be honest. I mean, the film's not going to give you constant laughs, but because I watched this film, this is one of my childhood films, it kind of gives me that nostalgic vibe, so I did really like the jokes, and the adult jokes, like, gay, 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 and stuff like that, really gave me a chuckle. But, to be honest, I can't think of any quotes right now, because, I didn't really write any of them down, to be honest, but anyway. So they were the jokes were pretty decent. And the legacy of the show, and overall, we're going to get to the overall comments now, but yeah, you're probably wondering, does this show help, does this movie help the legacy of the show? In a way, I thought it did, but yeah, obviously we know The Simpsons, a lot of people said The Simpsons died in like season 9 or season 10, and... Now, I thought the show kind of was losing quality at that point. I didn't think the show became bad until like season 14, to be honest, where it just had tons of celebrity cameos that didn't make sense and all this other type of crap. But I thought they were decent. But this film kind of strips things back. I mean, Tom Hanks is in this film in a scene, which I thought was pretty good. But other than that, this film isn't like full of celebrity cameos, so it kind of makes things basic again. But it doesn't exactly feel like the classic Simpsons. It does just have the newer episodes of The Simpsons vibes. If that's really going to bother you, if you're one of those big 90s kids and stuff like that, then maybe you shouldn't watch this. But yeah, this film did come out, I think, around the time when season 16 came out, which was definitely when the show was becoming, out of touch. Out of, people weren't caring for it. But the Simpsons movie was overall, quite good. But some fans found it kind of disappointing. They didn't think the film was that amazing. I thought it was pretty good. But in my honest opinion, the Simpsons movie really was the last good thing to come from the show. I think there was the Lego Simpsons sets. They were pretty good. Although they were bloody expensive, the little figurines, the little Simpsons Lego figures, they were great. But honestly, in terms of the actual show, this is probably the, last good thing to come from it. All the seasons after this movie have just been bland. There was decent episodes like Bart Hood, but a lot of them were just... I mean, The Simpsons, the characters don't really, progress, to be honest. It's Deus Ex Machina. They all start over again, the episodes. So it honestly should have ended a long time ago. But I'm just happy we got The Simpsons movie. And, but really, this could have been, the last thing to come from the show, and I would have been satisfied. But, you're probably also wondering, do I think there should be a Simpsons movie too? Actually, hell yeah, I think I would love a Simpsons movie too. It's been 10 years, so obviously they're going to have to be, it's going to have to be perfect if they want to do a sequel, a Simpsons movie 2 on it. But yeah, if they do Simpsons movie 2, then they should just definitely end it, because there's nothing else you could do with this show. People still watch it for whatever reason, but yeah, I don't know. But overall, this film does a lot of good justice for the film, even though it came out around the time when the series was kind of dying in a lot of people's eyes. The film was actually kind of surprisingly good, honestly. I thought it's not gonna blow you away. It's a pretty decent film, but because I watched this as a kid, it means a lot to me. Oh yeah, by the way, that's Spider Pig, if you were wondering. Oh yeah, I got this on in Oxfam for $1.99, but anyways. So yeah, came out around the time when the show was kind of drifting in popularity, but it helped the reputation of the show. So yeah, it was honestly pretty good, and there's a lot of iconic moments in this. Obviously the big dome, Homer gets on the wrecking ball and smashes about, the Epiphany scene, Spider Pig, obviously Grandpa's outburst in the middle of church. There's a lot of iconic moments in this. And and watching the DVD commentary was definitely an experience, because I learned about why they added some of the scenes to it. So yeah, Simpsons movie, overall rating, probably a 7.5 or an 8. But I would rate it a little bit higher because I watched it as a kid. So yeah, and unlike a lot of films I watched as a kid, this one held up really well. And honestly, if I'm bored, I'll just pop this film in and have a watch. But yeah, and also, I think if people have never watched The Simpsons, like if you come from some country which is, some, poorer country, I actually think this movie would be a pretty good start to your viewing of the series. Now, I would say watch the old seasons, the 90s ones, but overall, The Simpsons movie kind of has that good mix of the modern day animation and character designs with some of the charm of the old series. It kind of strips things back and makes it a little more traditional. So yeah, overall, The Simpsons movie, give it a watch. It's been 10 years now. I don't know how you haven't seen it if you're a cartoon lover. Also, I want to mention, even though I got the Family Guy poster in the background, I'm not biased to Family Guy. I know The Simpsons was the original. And I got to respect it. So yeah, I loved this film as a kid. I actually had all the figurines, the Simpsons figurines, not the Lego ones, but yeah, the little plastic ones. I got them for Christmas because I liked this film back in 2007. So yeah, a couple other ones. Global warming is a myth. That's what's selling out your beliefs. So yeah, but anyways, thanks for watching the review, guys. Today's been a pretty bad day, so making this video has been kind of like a fun little thing for me to do. The next video I'm going to make is a singing video, and I'll let you know what it's going to be. So yeah, PG rating as well because of the adult jokes in this film, but yeah, it's not too offensive, this film. So yeah, give it a watch. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this film review. It's a little bit different, isn't it? So, yeah, if there's any other films you want me to watch, I can buy on DVD from, a charity shop and review, just let me know, comment down below. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little review, and stay tuned for the singing video. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.